Hey my glam girls, welcome back to my channel. It's Chelsea, where we talk about all things glam and all things girly. So today, I don't even know what to call this video. I guess I could call it sharing with you my Pat McGrath favorites. My top four favorite products from Pat McGrath. I guess we'll call it that because I really honestly love this makeup look that I have on and I just want to share it. That's what we're doing. So that's why I'm like, we'll come up with a topic. Whatever the title of the video is, that's what the topic of this video is. But before we get into that, thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I truly do appreciate it. If you are new, click that subscribe button and join the Glam Girl Squad. We'd love to have you join us. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for deciding to come back and support my channel. I truly do appreciate every like, every comment from you all, and you decide to shop through my links. It all truly does mean so much to me, and I'm grateful for each and every one of you. So let's get right into this video. So my absolute favorite, can't live without it, product from Pat McGrath, hands down, is her Sublime foundation. I wear the shade M17, and when I say I love this foundation, like this actually might be my top 2 favorite foundation of all times. It always goes back and forth between 1 and 2. It's between 1 and 2. But I love this foundation because it's so flexible in how I can wear it. I can literally like pump it out, put it all over my face, and literally leave the house. Like add nothing else to my face but maybe a lip gloss. And I could wear it that way. I could glam it up. If I were ever to be on a red carpet, I could put her on a red carpet. Like she is just ready for whatever situation I want to put her in. Long wearing formula. Coverage is going to be up to about a medium type of coverage, and we're getting a nice soft matte finish. This foundation formulation, especially in the wintertime, can be too drying for my skin if I just were to put it on top of my skincare. So I do like to go in with some type of hydrating primer if my skin is really dry. Summertime, I'm fine because, you know, due to the sun, getting a little hot and stuff, I have enough moisture there. But if needed, I would either go in with a hydrating primer like a beauty oil, add a couple of drops to the skin, or like I love the glow serum right here. Yummy Skin Glow Serum. I love that. Something else I like going in with is the Pat McGrath Divine Skin Rose Essence. Amazing. This product is beautiful. It's one of those products where I was like, I need to pick her up again because she's lovely. I went hard for her when this first came out, and like the few months leading, like after I got it, like it was the hydrating primer of choice for me. So I'm going to go on with something like that before I apply this foundation. But honey, the finish on my skin looks so stunning. It's like your skin, but better. I love the tone of this foundation. Like I cannot say enough good things about it. So I'm calling this an honorable mentions for this video because it's not the foundation that I'm wearing today. I'm actually doing a foundation comparison between the new HD Skin Hydra Glow Foundation and the OG, well not literal OG, but the HD Skin formula. So these are the foundations I'm wearing on my face. But absolute number 1 favorite product from Pat McGrath is this one right here. Okay, now getting into the products that I do have on my face. And I would say my number 2 favorite product from Pat McGrath. Number 2 is hard because what I really want to put at number 2, I feel like I can't put it at number 2 because I don't use it nearly as much as the other product that I am putting at number 2. So I guess I'm going to put this at number 2 because I use it more. Her freaking bronzers, okay? Bronze Mahogany, though, is my shade. I have 5 shades, okay? I love every one of them. I have from Desert Glow to this deepest shade, Bronze Mahogany. All of those 5 shades work beautifully on me, and there's a time and a place for all of them. But the shade that I use every time I want to use a Pat McGrath bronzer is Bronze Mahogany. Even if I go in with another one of her shades, like Burnished Honey, I love that shade when I want a really like sun-kissed like warm bronzer look. I'll go in with Burnished Honey. It looks stunning on the skin, but you know what I'm also going to do? I'm going to top it with the little Bronze Mahogany. That's what I'm going to do. This shade is just, I just can't. I don't have words to talk about it. It is the bronzer that I'm wearing right now. And first of all, what attracted me to this bronzer, because when I saw it initially just in pan, I was like, okay, this one's going to be too deep for me. I'm not even going to look at it, right? But then Pat went live and I saw them like what they call burn the edges of the face. And I was like, well, I want to burn the edges of my face and look like that. It's so freaking amazing, okay? It's such a smoothing type of bronzer formula. Like, it never looks too matte on the face. It never looks too dry on the face. And as you wear this bronzer throughout the day, it gives you a really beautiful radiance to the skin. Nothing glowy, like we don't have pearly glowing particles in the formulation, but the way this looks radiant but matte and soft and like melted into the skin, it takes the cake. It does it every time. If I have to use a bronzer, the first one I always think of is this one. And most of the time I do use it. I'll reach for other ones because my other bronzers need love. But like, this one is like if I could only have one bronzer status. And I could easily be like this one. And all my other bronzers, I love you. Whew. But if we had to choose one, I'm going hard for that one. I'm telling y'all, if you've not tried her bronzers, give them a try. They come in 8 shades. I think she did a phenomenal job with her bronzer launch. Okay. Number 3, we're going to go with what I was thinking of putting at number 2 because I truly love them, but I don't use them nearly as much. Her Mothership palette. So today we are wearing Mothership 1. I believe this is Subliminal. Yes. Yes, it is. If I'm wrong, I'll correct myself on the screen, but I believe I'm right. Okay. Subliminal is Mothership 1. I reached for this one. I don't even know why. I sat down and I was like, I want to use a Mothership palette. I picked up this one. And I was like, this one looks great. I love all my Mothership palettes. I have all 11 of them. I'm a Mothership collector. And my favorite shades in the Motherships, I would say from Motherships 1 through 9, because she stopped it with 10, are these special shades right here in this little quad. It gets me every time. Her matte shades, depending on the, okay, I'm only gonna speak for the Motherships that I have because I don't know if like she's, you know, improved her formulation on some of these older Motherships. But the matte shades actually in this one really blended beautifully and smoothly. And the shimmers are like not so intense, but they are multifunctional. So for instance, if I wanted to go in with a highlighter, I would definitely use this shade as a highlighter. I could also use this shade as a highlighter to give me a little razzle dazzle and sparkle. And in other Mothership palettes, this formulation here, I could use it as a blush if the tone is a blush shade. This shade right here, I used it as well as a nose contour. And this black shade is really pigmented in black. It is my liner on the upper lash line. So my Mothership palettes, when I do use them, I try to use them all over face because I know that's how she made them. And they're just not for the eyes. However you can make these shades work on your face, you should do it for face and eyes so that you're getting more bang for your buck as well. So for this eye look, and I'm looking over here because I have a mirror over here. So if you see me looking over here, that's why I'm looking over here. And I can also see the shades here, so I know where I'm pointing at. But for this eye look, I started off with, I went in with this shade to contour my nose. So I started off with this shade, and that was the transition for the eye. After that, I went in with this shade right here. I don't have the shade names memorized, so forgive me. And I don't feel like going to get my sleeve, so forgive me. But I went in with the shade here, started putting that in the crease of the eye, blending it into the transition shade of the eye. Both of these shades, like I said, blended really beautiful, and they are very smooth. They're not hard pan like some of the matte shades that I have in some of my other Mothership palettes. After that, I was like, okay, what are we doing with this eye? I wanted to put this all over the eyelid as a base for the eye. This shade is really beautiful. It's not completely opaque. It's kind of transparent, just a bit. Like it can be worn by itself, as you can see, but it doesn't have a thick base to it. And I really, really like this shade. So then after that, I think I went in with this shade over here because I knew I wanted to use it. I love this shade all over the eye. The special shade formula is going to be sometimes transparent, but it's also buildable. So if you want it to be more opaque, go in with your finger. I've got these claws on, so I didn't use my fingers nearly as much as I normally would because you get the most pigmentation with your fingers. Second most way you can get the most pigmentation, I believe, is going to be with a synthetic brush, and then lastly, a natural haired brush. So I did start off with my finger, but the claws got in the way. I grabbed a Suqqu G brush, which is going to be a natural haired brush. So I got pigmentation, but nothing overly intense. And honestly, I'm good with it too. I didn't want anything like extremely opaque. So I'm really happy with how the eye look and the way these shades showed up. So then for the inner corner of the eye, I went in with this shade here and this shift here of like blue, green, white. I mean, look at it. Okay. Okay. And okay. Okay. So for the lower lash line, I knew I wanted to use this stunning blue shade. It is one of my favorite blue shades in my makeup collection, hands down, okay? One of my favorites. So use this on the, well, first I went in with the black shade to line my upper lids, and then I went in and used this black shade to line the lower lash line and the lower rim of the eye. And then after that, I went in with the blue shade. Look at her. Just in case you just want to see her up close and personal. She's gorgeous, stunning, all the things, okay? So then I was like, okay, we definitely have to go in with this one. And just this poppy shade, it's not a poppy shade, but you get what I'm saying. This shade over this blue, it deserves a whole moment. A whole moment. Both of these shades together give you that beautiful like mermaid look to the eye. It's absolutely stunning. Do you see it? Oh, do you see it? And then I did a nice wing on the lower lash line with this blue shade. And then after I was done, I was like, okay, we got a nice cool tone look going on. I was like, but this gold is calling me. And ideally, I would have used it as a highlighter. But I'm doing a foundation comparison, so I don't like to use highlighters when I'm comparing foundations. And I was like, I like to mix warm and cool tones, okay? I like to mix silver and gold in my jewelry. So we're going to throw this yellow in the center. It looks so beautiful. Like when you look at the eye and the shift of the eye, it's like enough warmth that she's there, but it doesn't take away from the overall coolness of the eye look. I just love it. Absolutely love it. Mothership palettes, in my opinion, are one of those makeup products where it's like, is it a necessity? Absolutely not. But is it an experience that if you would like to delve into it, you should? Absolutely yes. I will never forget my first Mothership. It was Mothership 5. And it will forever be one of my favorites because it was my first Mothership. I was like, I don't own anything this expensive when it comes to makeup. My husband bought it for me for Christmas because I was like, I cannot even begin to afford that. But I knew I wanted it because I was like, if everybody says it's beautiful, then I want it. And it is. It's still one of my favorite Motherships. And she is beat up and loved and all the things. So I would say Mothership palettes are definitely one of those products from Pat McGrath. Like if you're going to own a Pat McGrath product, you need a Mothership palette. Even if it's just one. Highly recommend them. I do have a ranking video of my Mothership palettes from 1 to 9. Or it might be 1 through 8. I gotta re-rank them because we gotta add those extra ones in there. I don't even know off the top of my head where I will put them, but I gotta do one because I myself want to know, is my ranking gonna change? So definitely that. And then I would say the last product that I wanna call out that I really enjoy from Pat McGrath would be her blushes. Definitely is gonna be top 4 product for me because, you know, honorable mention number 1 and then 2, 3, and 4. Her blushes, I used to have all of her blushes. I decluttered a couple of them recently, like the ones that were just really light. Ironically, the lighter ones still do show on me, but I don't reach for them nearly as much. So I have now the majority of them because I decluttered the lighter ones. But this is the shade Divine Rose 3. I love all of the Divine Rose blushes, Divine Rose 2, and then 3. They're stunning. I love this matte formula that she uses for her blushes because it's a soft matte. It's not overly drying. Honestly, it kind of reminds me of the formula of the bronzers, but just a little less radiance. So when I say a little less radiance, as you're wearing the blushes throughout the day, I don't necessarily see that radiance that I get from the bronzers. But they melt into the skin. They blend effortlessly into the skin. They're very pigmented. So if you have a deeper complexion, you're going to get pigmentation from the bronzers. And it's just a solid, beautiful formulation. Like, definitely would recommend that you try them. How many shades does she have now? She definitely has over 10 shades of the blushes, because when she first came out with the blushes, I think she had 8 or 9. And I got all of them. And then she came out with like a few others. So it's definitely over 10 blush shades that she has. And they're really, really beautiful. Highly recommend them. And then on my lips, I do have Pat McGrath products. I do enjoy Pat McGrath lips. I think they're beautiful. But I just don't reach for them nearly as much as I reach for these other products from her brand. But I'll tell you what I have on my lips. So I have on the shade called Dream Lover. This is a matte shade. And I don't remember when this one came out, so it might still be on her website. But I knew that the lip with this eye look, I wanted it to be kind of cooler and softer. Like, I wanted the eye to be the focal point. And then this particular lipstick definitely came from the Bridgerton collection, or collaboration, I should say. And the shade is Venusian Peach. So I put the Dream Lover, this shade here, all over the lips, and then in the center of my lips I have Venusian Peach. And that's the look, guys. That's the whole look. It's giving everything. So let me know down below what your favorite Pat McGrath products are. Let me know if any of these are your favorite, and then let me know if there's something else from her that you're like, Chels, this would make like my top 3, my top 4. Leave all that down in the comment section below. And if you've made it to this point in the video and you haven't yet to subscribe to my channel, I would love for you to consider subscribing and joining the Glam Girl Squad, because we love to have you. And guys, that is it. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope to see you in my very next video. Bye, guys.